In this video, we will design a supporting steel structure where it will support a reciprocating pump above it, right? And after watching this video, it will be clear to you what are the checklist and what is the procedure, right? So recently one of you have asked me, sir, please make a video regarding the equipment foundation, right? And you have also asked me that what are the criteria that we should follow whenever we are going to design the foundation for or any supporting structure for the machines, right? So if you go through the PIP criteria, there it is clearly mentioned that if you have centrifugal machineries that is less than 500 horsepower, or in case of a if you have reciprocating machineries that is less than 200 horsepower, in that case you don't need to do such rigorous dynamic analysis. Okay, simply if the foundation weight for centrifugal machinery is more than 3 times than the machine weight, then it is automatically taken care, right? And in case of a reciprocating machinery, the foundation weight should be at least 5 times, right? In that case it will be taken care. But just to tell you this two information, I'm not preparing this video. Okay, so we will design a supporting steel structure where it will support a reciprocating pump above it, right? And after watching this video, it will be clear to you what are the checklist and what is the procedure, right? So we have this real world problem. Okay, I have taken this problem. Here you can see this is a reciprocating pump of 200 horsepower and its operating speed is given, operating frequency is given as 7 hertz, and we have to check for 7 hertz and 2 times rpm, that is 14 hertz, right? And vendor also has given that there is unbalanced force 15 kilonewton, right? And that is acting along the piston axis. In this case this is x axis, and that means horizontal, right? And the support structure should be 3 meter tall and the plan dimension is 4 meter by 3 meter, right? So we have to design this support structure so that the nodal displacement, that means the point where the machine is supported, should not be more than 50 micron in any direction, right? And also we have to check that the overall frequency of the structure and machine system, overall frequency, right, that should be greater than 14 hertz. Just leave the screen and go to the STAAD file. So here you can see I have already modeled it, right? And if I just give you a 3D view, it looks something like this. By the way, actually I was working on this problem, that is why I think why should not I share it, right? So it is finalized, and let's see how I have decided where which type of member should be given, where bracing should be given. Okay, so go back. At the very first, I'm not going into the general modeling, right? How to model. I think all of you who are my audience, they know very well how to model instead, right? Simply I will discuss the loading condition. Okay, so before that, the we only select, let's only select the top tier, right? It will be sufficient for us. So you can see this is the plan, right? And here this is this node, this node, this node, and this node. Here the equipment will be supported, right? And in this 4 node, the equipment will be supported by means of a spring, right? Great. So here you have to apply the reaction that is coming due to that complete skid structure. Okay, so what are these? These are dummy. All of these are dummy, and these dummies will transfer the load, the dynamic load that is coming at the center of the machine. So in this point we will apply the dummy load, sorry, the dynamic load, and here the static load due to the weight of the machine and concrete has been applied, right? So in case if you have no idea how the arrangement actually happens, so here you can see that this is a periphery which has been formed by using structural steel, and also the reverse at the bottom is there, and here you can see 4 anchor bolt is also provided. So what happens, you simply pour the concrete over this skid structure, then you simply bolt down the machine over it. So why this is done? So this is simply done to bring down the CG, right? So to bring down the CG of the machine, this huge mass is added just below the machine, and this whole structure is then will be put on our steel. And here you can see these are the spring, right? So these springs are actually going to be supported on our steel structure. So up to this spring, this is the duty of the vendor. We will only take the reaction from them, and also what is the unbalanced force, that is 15 kilonewton in our case, and its direction and the operating speed of the machine, that is going to be provided by the vendor. And with all of this data, we are going to design our structure. So once you pour concrete over this structure and fix your machine, then it will look something like this. So here you can see, okay, I have simply gone to a website. Here you can see we have pour concrete within the skid, right? Then we have simply bolt down the machine, right? Now this whole system is going to be sit over our structure. So these are the point where the spring will be supported, and this is the point. It is assumed that the CG of the machine is lying here, and here we will apply the dynamic load. So how to design the or define the load? Very simple. So first, you have to ensure that the self weight is properly assigned, right? So the whole structure, if we again on it, so the self weight here you can see has been applied. This is the reaction coming from the spring due to the self weight of concrete plus machine. And under dynamic, there is the load here. So how to define this dynamic load? So for that, you have to go to the definition, and you have to, here you can see, you have to define the dynamic load, right? So if I just go to the edit, here you can see we have taken the sine function. The maximum amplitude is given as 15 kilonewton, right? And based on that, we have defined it, right? And one more thing here you have to define, that is, if this dynamic force is going to be applied over this structure, right, definitely there will be some mass that is going to damp it. Okay, so who is going to damp it? So that force or mass you have to define. So we have defined that under reference load. So here you can see we have defined the self weight in each and every direction, x, y, z, and also the weight that is coming from the machine and the concrete, that is also has been assigned each and every direction. So this is the reference load, and it will damp the structure once the dynamic load start to act, right? So here you can see this is the self load. Yeah, this is the self load due to, I think I have missed some member, okay, ignore it. And this is the dynamic load that has been provided at the center. Okay, so once we have designed everything, by the way, I'm not going into the detailing of this release. I think you know that the bracing should be released at both ends because they are pinned connection. Okay, and the column, I have modeled it as pinned column. There is no need to provide moment. And here if we look into the plan, right? So by the way, I have here provided bracing in all direction, right? Here you can see here the bracing has been provided in all direction. Why? Simply to ensure the structure is rigid enough. Okay, because the deflection criteria in vertical as well as in horizontal direction is very less. Okay, it's only 50 micron. So that is why you have to make sure your structure is rigid enough. And in the plan also, here you can see here I have provided a plan bracing arrangement at the two end, right? So in this direction along the x, our force is going to be applied, dynamic force, or the piston is going to be move along this x axis. That is why I have provided the bracing, plan bracing in this manner. Okay, so don't consider this one, right? This is dummy. Okay, so this bracing is dummy just to transfer the dynamic load. Okay, so our modeling has been completed, and plan bracing, vertical bracing arrangement has also been completed. If we talk about the section, yes, I have used which type of section? Let's go to the property tab. Yeah, this columns has been used 300 HB, and all the plan beam has been used as 250, and bracing has been used as WB 250, right? Okay, so let's run it. So Yeah, it's error free. Go to the output file first, because we are going to check the frequencies, right? So the frequency of this complete structure and machine system should be above 14 hertz, right? So the frequency is just above 14 hertz, that is 16.88. The second mode it is 23 hertz, right? So one thing is clear, that our structure is fully optimized. If we just simply reduce any section, we may deviate this one, right? Therefore frequency is passed. Now it's time to check the deflection, right? So first we have to check whether this supporting node, these were the supporting node, right? This one, this one, this one, and this one. So let's check. So here you can see, yeah, y displacement is only 11 micron, right? But the machine will move, vibrate in along the x-axis. So along the x-axis, let's check. So it has passed marginally, right? So 50.9 micron, but our allowable limit is 50 micron. So what we can do, and also here in positive it is 58. So I think along the x-axis we need to increase what we have to do to reduce this deflection along this x-axis. We have to increase the stiffness along this direction. So one way is we can increase the stiffness of the bracings, right? Or you can say we can increase the size of the bracings. That is one way, and it also can be done in some other ways also. So let me know in the comment what is that way also. So if you find that this video is useful to you, or maybe useful to someone else who is working like this, please don't forget to share it, and also don't forget to give it a like.